Welcome, everyone. And thanks for tuning in. If you tune in on YouTube as well, subscribe and all that good stuff. So let's begin in a seated position where we'll just come into some breath before we get lower and connect with our mat there. So let's start seated, and kneeling is fine. Sitting on a chair is fine. If you're in cross-legged, you want to maybe put support under the knees, or here in kneeling, you can put a blanket behind your knees to see if you can keep that flexion more comfortable. But let's find those sits bones and just take the hand to the glutes and just connect downward and allow the sits bones to find your anchor's point, whether that's on the edge of a cushion or just on the heels in kneeling. Take the hands to the thighs. Inhale and exhale. Pretty simple to start. We're going to even things out energetically at that equinox time of year, cutting into spring, nourishing and cleansing, using our breath as the guide. So close the eyes, coming into an inward focus. And noticing the inflow and outflow of breath. Feeling in your mind's eye going to the sits bones, your anchor. Noticing there's a nice curve in the low back, a nice comfortable curve, not overarching, but not curving forward either. So a nice balance in between. As we inflow the breath and outflow, we're just traveling up the spine, past the shoulder blades. Allow the shoulder blades to energetically drop towards the mat. Use your inner witness to notice the breath and also to notice those tension points in the body. Use the breath as your exploration. As you drop the shoulders away from the ears, maybe squeeze the shoulder blades together a tiny bit to bring that heart taller. So we're coming into our witnessing breath, the entry point to our yoga practice. We can play that witness with our movement. We can play that witness with our stillness or simply with the breath. Notice the energy you are entering your practice with and just accept that energy. Set an intention for how you'd like to be in 60 minutes. And now we'll enter the conscious breath part of our practice. So we like to take a tour through our different kinds of yogic breath. Today, it's alternate nostril breathing, which is again an echoing of that balance theme. So you can take the ring finger and the thumb on either side of the nostrils, just at the top, sort of more in the middle of the nose, and place those two other fingers like in between the eyebrows. And feel free to close the eyes again. And now we're going to balance the breath between the left and right nostril. This is great for immune system, great for mental balance. So press the ring finger onto that left nostril and breathe in through the right nostril. If this doesn't work for you, you can simply come to a nice even breath. Inhale through the right nostril and then switch the thumb to the right nostril and release the ring finger, and then breathe out through the left nostril. Pause. And then breathe in through the left nostril. Pause and bring the ring finger onto that left and release the thumb. Breathe out through the right. Release the breath and then inhale through the nostril on the right. Pause and exhale on the left, releasing. Continue this pattern. Now you inhale through the left. Pause, block the left nostril, open the right, exhale. Continue 3 more rounds here. I'm sure one side will be different than the other. And again, keep those other 2 fingers on your third eye for a release of energy there as well. Any overly cluttery mental activity that's going on. See if you can calm that there. One more round on either side. Anytime you have a headache, for example, this can be a really good breath work. Very healing. And then you can slowly drop the right hand to the thigh. Keep the eyes closed. Come back to your witness breath. So now we can take a little tour again and notice the effect that breath work had on the body or your mind. Maybe no effect at all, but if it made you feel lighter in any way, fantastic. Maybe it helped you feel more grounded. Noticing the right and the left side. And of course, how they connect in the center, spinal column, the center of the body. And then flutter the eyes open. And then we'll come onto the mat, opening up the thoracic spine right away, taking our blanket in a long roll underneath the shoulder blades, rolling that blanket up at 3/4 up the mat. And this is, again, a lovely passive way to ease everything out, to begin a practice, because then you've got this great form going into your movement when your thoracic spine's been open. So you seated on the mat, feet flat on the floor, and then ease yourself down with your hands. Take the hands to the back of the skull and feel the blanket on the bottom of the shoulder blades. The sockets of the shoulders should be draping over the blanket. If this is too high for you, you can adjust the blanket to whatever height you want. And you can take your arms out to cactus beside you or out into a T if your space allows. And now we can notice that breath again, keeping the knees bent, since this will lift up the upper spine, the mid and upper spine. We want to protect the lower back. Keeping the knees bent is a nice way to do that. So notice our anchor points here. Feet on the floor, the sacrum, and then the back of the shoulder blades lifted up by the blanket, and that ledge of the blanket allowing the shoulder blades to melt towards the mat. So we're really going to follow the path of our breath today. So inhale that sense of nourishment into the body. Refresh, renew. Exhale, release, and feel the contact with the earth. Feel a release of whatever you need to let go of. Perhaps if it's been a busy day or an overly thoughtful night, whatever you want to bring into a calmer place, set that intention now through the breath. Noticing with each exhale, those shoulder sockets drop closer to the mat. And then you're just feeling like gravity's helping you drape over and not have to hold ourselves up so much. Releasing the neck, the effort, over efforting. We don't have to do that here. Notice the path of the breath, that as it travels in through the nose and then expands the belly. and how the back of the ribs expand as well. And see if you can bring that sense of full expansion as you exhale into our other movements today. So now that we've gotten that nice widening of our collarbones, a beautiful thoracic spine opener here, unrounding, we're going to just roll over onto our side and remove the blanket. And then come onto the belly. Finding the forehead to the mat. The third eye is down on the mat. A nice release energy here as well. And take the tops of the feet down on the floor. Feel the length of the body. Take the arms up above the head so you can just place the palms right above the head. Elbows out wide. Inhale into the back of the body. Again, puffing up the back of those ribs like we were lying down, but going in the other direction, balancing it out. Exhale down. Inhale again. New energy, nourishing the lower back here. Exhale out. And then slide the hands next to the shoulders. Really spread out the fingertips and the fingers. And enjoy that expanse of your hands, that nice base that you're supporting with your hands spread out, and noticing they really can anchor you if you just contact as much surface as possible. Taking the elbows to the ribs. Again, let's travel down to the feet and make those toenails contact the floor. And just press down with the tops of the feet. Notice that enlivens the legs. And maybe we point the tailbone a little towards the heels. So we're toning in. And then inhale, pull back with the hands energetically and lift the head off the mat, baby cobra. Allow the spine to undulate fluidly and then down again. If you have some disc issues, you can be careful about how far to come up, come down and then up again on an inhale. You don't have to come up as far. Just lengthen more than arcing. Come down, rest the head. And then inhale again. And exhale down. We'll take two more here just to connect with the breath and the movement and really coordinate them together. If you do have a herniation in the disc or kind of sciatic issues, this can actually help if you're doing this regularly to strengthen the support muscles and to lengthen the spine. And now take the head down and we'll take the arms next to the ears. So really a sense of full length, full body experience here. Toes to fingertips. Oh, stretch out on the right side and then the left side. Exhale it all out, side out. And then we'll strengthen ourselves by lifting everything off the floor, so the head and the arms and the legs. Everything together, exhale down. Really toning in through the glutes this time. Up again and exhale down. And then up again, holding this inhale, a little bit of a beat or two. And exhaling down. And then as you come down, we're going to take it alternately this time. So right arm and left leg come up and the head. And then down again. See, explore the other side. Finding your breath with this pattern of down on the out breath, up on the in breath. Again, let's come back to that witnessing. Feel the expansion of the back of the ribs, right? It's just an inflating quality when you lift up and expand through that back body. And one more side. And then down again, palms down to the floor. So we're really feeling again that anchor through the hands and the feet. So feel that full expansion of your hands and just press into the floor and then press into the floor with your feet. Just feeling that aliveness through coursing through the body and the breath. Inhale. Exhale, slide the hands next to the shoulders again. And then we'll gently push up however you'd like to get back to child's pose. So we're going to come up to all fours. And then we're going to take those knees wide apart, big toes together. I'll suggest something if you don't want to flex as far is to take a block in front of you and taking your arms out long, just bring the forehead down to the block so you don't have to be in full flexion, but you're still getting that resting inward sense of child's pose. Or you can bring the forehead down to the mat entirely and see if you can use the fingertips to claw the mat and just feel that sense of traction as you're pulling gently towards the top of the mat. See if that lengthens your right side and your left side along the ribs. While you exhale, feel a settling through the hips, onto the heels. And if child's pose doesn't work for you at all, you can also go onto your back and just hug the knees. But if you are in child's pose, see if you can rock side to side. So we're again keeping that aliveness and a oxygenation through the spine by rolling side to side. So we're really rolling through the torso here, right to left. Gently swaying in either direction. Maybe getting a few more intricacies in the spine, some attention, some intention to loosen up a bit. And then slow that breath down, slow the swaying down. And now we'll take the hands, the back of the hands to the sacrum. So sweep the arms behind you and then just take one hand and the other and place it on the sacrum. Just notice what that curling in does. The shoulders will drop and that's okay. And then we can sway the head side to side here as well. So we're massaging the third eye, massaging some of those sinus points along the eyebrows. Come back to center, switch the hands. So if you've had one hand on top, switch it to the other. Just feeling that touch on the lower back, so on the sacrum as you're grounding. Exhale it out. Inhale and just sway again with the head side to side. Not too much, just teeny inch side to side there. Inhale, exhale. Really nice. Allow the arms to drop to the side towards the floor, curling in again. And then sweep the arms next to the face and the hands next to the face. Come on up and we're going to curl up into our tabletop. Let's take that blanket and cushion the knees. Cushion the shins and then allow the kneecaps to drape over the front of the blanket. A nice technique to protect your knees. Come on up to all fours. Great. And we'll stay here in our neutral spine, finding a neutral spine. So that's going to be individual for everybody, but it does help to spread out the hands, keep the wrists more or less under the shoulders, squeezing those armpit energy towards the ribs, enlivening the shoulders, and then finding those hip width apart shins and finding that base really strong. So our head is long in that horizontal, and we've got the crown of the head, the back of the skull matching the sacrum, toning the navel towards the spine, neutral. And then inhale, let's go into a cat very consciously through the breath. Inhale, tailbone tucks under, and then low back into a nice C curve, and then separate the shoulder blades. And this time, let's tuck the chin into the chest. So really tuck in, look at the knees, but see if you can even go further and tuck in and look at the thighs. So we're curling in even more than usual. Inhale, let's get into a cow here. So we'll curl the tailbone up and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Then finally look up at the end, really taking that trip up the spine into the skull. Inhale into cat, curl in. If you want to close the eyes, take that mind's eye approach again into your breath, into the path of the spine. Tucking that chin and then back again. Feeling the fluidity that the breath really promotes through this movement. Conscious to every level of the movement. Hoping that this will translate to our less conscious movement, to our day, right? You can just sort of tap into it later. Come back to all fours. We're going to take the right hand and press that into the mat full on, and then lift the left arm up into a diagonal. I know sometimes we lift it up into this horizontal, but let's lift it up on a diagonal. You can even look up at the left hand and pressing through the right. Make sure you squeeze down that shoulder action, so that armpit energy, but you're a nice diagonal line between the wrists, between the fingertips, opening up. Hold this so you can inhale, exhale. Let's follow the eyes, follow the left hand as it threads under the right armpit, and we'll take a nice twist here, twisted cat, and take the left ear to the mat. And the right hand comes in front of the face. So this takes a little bit of settling into this. So you if you can keep the hips and check in with the hips and see if they're even. Most likely your right hip is trying to hike up towards the top of the mat. Let's see if we can inhale, exhale, and encourage it to go towards the bottom of the mat. Flip the left hand up and down. So you've got the palm to the sky, palm to the floor. Up and down. Rotating through that shoulder while you keep the right hand next to the face. Inhale. And it's a subtle exhale of kind of a subtle movement of melting towards the floor. Maybe you take the fingertips of the right hand and walk them up towards the top of the mat. And straighten out your arm, only if that's comfortable, or you can just keep that support in front of the face and twist. So we're inhaling and lengthening the spine. As we exhale, we're going to twist, looking maybe up towards the ceiling on the right, with the left ear down, only no force, just following the breath and listening to the body. Walk the right hands back under the face and unthread yourself gracefully. And let's bring the left hand down. A nice solid sunburst of a hand. Inhale the right arm up, diagonal this time. So we're taking the twist upward into the upper back and into the upper spine and towards the neck. Maybe looking up at the right hand and holding for a couple breaths here, toning through the spine and not turning too much through the lower back, but just that mid and upper. Exhale as your gaze watches that right hand threading under the left armpit and the right ear comes to the mat. And your left hand in front of the face. So here we go, checking in with our little landmarks. Okay, so we've got the shins on the mat. And then we want to check in with that left hip and see if it's traveling up towards the top of the mat. Exhale it back down towards the bottom of the mat. You can place a hand there, whatever you need, just to check in with that point. And melt with your exhale, the heart towards the floor. Flip the right hand up and down, rotating through the right shoulder. And then walk the left fingertips. If this is available for you, you can walk them up towards the top of the mat. Inhale, exhale. Really, since we're in our twister here, we're just noticing the path of the breath and the interesting path it takes when we get into these healthy twists, giving a new awakening to our insides. Exhale it out. And then take the left hand to the mat and allow yourself to unwind and take the hands a little bit forward. We'll come into some toning here. So take the hands forward and we'll come into a knee plank. Your balance point is on your hands here as well. So we're coming forward, strong hands, squeezing down. Shoulder blades are shoulders come away from the ears. And we slide the hips forward, knees go back a little bit. And see if you can take that line from your tailbone to the crown of the head and keep it nice and long into that diagonal, pointing towards the knees. Where's the navel point? Is it drooping, maybe arching through the back? Let's keep it toned. Glutes engaged. Just holding here, making sure we're nice and aware of our core. Hold another breath. Great, and then slide the hips back, and we're going to transition to seated. So take your comfortable seat. You might want to alternate with what you did earlier just to give the body a little variety. I'll come into cross-legged. Great. Wonderful. So seated, let's rub those hands together, bring some warmth into those extreme points of the body. And bring that warmth to the eye socket. So take the palms, place them over the eyes. Feel the warmth, feel the calming that this brings. So you don't even have to close the eyes, you just cradle the eye sockets. Already notice the calming effect this has on your breath. Great. And then we'll take the thumbs to the bottom of the skull and the occipital ridge and just make a nice massage there in circles. This is such a pivotal point in the body, energetically, physically, all of it. It's great to pay attention. And then we'll take the circles the other direction. So we want to have that occiput connecting and oxygenated, right? So the base of the skull to the sacrum, that riverbed in between them, or the waterfall, whatever it is, the spine, the column, the flow. Inhale, exhale, and then slide the thumbs towards the ears. When you find the ears, just massage the edges of the ears. And then take the ears out to the side. So as you do that, you might notice that your jaw loosens. And of course, that tight jaw, it's kind of an automatic thing we do when we're stressed out or thinking too hard or something. So just see if you can find some flexibility and looseness there, side to side, open and close. Great. And then the arms just sweep out into T, full wingspan. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Inhale. Exhale them away as if we're just free flying. Eagle arms, that's what's coming next. Inhale into that reaching up energy, and then exhale, bring the right elbow under the left. You can fully wind into our palms together or the backs of the hands together. So we're going to do 2 trips through this eagle arms, and one of them is going to be really subtle movement and the other is going to be a little more obvious, but both ways I want us to follow the breath. So staying in your eagle arms, so you've got the elbows in line with the shoulders. And settle in, so you want to drop the shoulders away from the ears here. So on your inhale, I want you to lift the elbows up towards the sky just ever so slightly. And on the exhale, take the shoulders away from the ears and the elbows down. Again, follow your breath. Up and down, tracing that line, becoming aware of the length of your spine and the lift through the elbows, the lift of that vertical line towards the sky. Great, and then sweep out into wingspan again. Exhale, flow the left arm under right. Wrap or not, both hands back to the hands together is fine. Here we go with that subtle movement. Inhale, arms, elbows up. Exhale down. Your breath, your individual rhythm. Sweep out in a wingspan. This time take the fingertips behind you and clasp the fingers together. And just notice that opening as you inhale, dropping the hands towards the sacrum and just looking up slightly into a little back bend. Exhale, wingspan out again. Inhale, lift the hands towards the sky. Exhale into right under left elbow, eagle arms again. Inhale, exhale, drop shoulders away from ears, and we'll take the elbows over to the right shoulder and then look over the right shoulder. And then come on back through center, look, bring the gaze forward and trace that line over to the left shoulder and look to the left. Come back, bring the gaze and the arms forward. Inhale. Let's take that same trip upwards, but this time bring a slight back bend in with it. So if there's a hand behind your heart, and then look up, keeping your nice toning in through the navel. Then trace the line back down, and we're going to curl forward this time. So the elbows come towards the navel and the spine curls into that C curve. Dip the head down, bowing down. And then come back up. And then sweep out, wingspan. Inhale, exhale, left under right. We're going to slide the elbows. Once you find that center, slide the elbows over towards the left shoulder. And then gaze over the left shoulder. And then trace that back through center with the eyes and the elbows over to the right shoulder. Then turn the gaze. Inhale, find your exhale and come back to center, pulling into that vertical line. Inhale, look up with your heart and your eyes. Exhale, curl in, elbows towards navel. Keeping that strong center in your hands together. Trace the line back up. And then sweep the arms out. Whew, a beautiful thoracic release. Bring the fingertips down to the mat. Press through the fingertips and just feel that length as you press through those roots of the fingertips. And just take it kind of side to side with your neck, chin side to side, and then in circles. Draw a circle with your chin. And then the other direction, just feel that freedom that you've created already. Perhaps it frees up some mental space as well. Energetic space, great. Okay, so now we're going to come to a standing practice. So move the blanket aside. You can take a block handy if you'd like for some of our forward bends. Come to all fours with the long side of the mat next to you. Curl the toes under and then lift the knees off the mat, supporting yourself with your hands. And we're going to take the feet wide apart toward the wide edges of the mat. Standing strong through your feet. So we're going to come into this horizontal back, so a flat back with the hands supported, as flat as you can get it. You might want to use that block and hold it there if you don't want to fold forward quite as much. So I've got the hands on the block or on the floor or the fingertips. Either way, energetically, with those hands, you want to pull towards the body so that the spine can really lengthen out in this horizontal position. Yeah, and then stand strong through the feet. And we're going to find our center here, taking the hands to the thighs. Again, finding that strong spinal column of center, and inhale, hinging at the hip, come on up to stand. Great. Now we're going to fold forward again, but we're going to take into account that length, right? So take the left hand to the bottom of the belly and take the right hand to the heart. Now you can even just do a little lift with your hands upward on the skin of the front of the body, just feeling that lift. Inhale, drop the shoulders away from the ears, and then fold forward with that sense of length. Hinging at the hips. And just supported by your own hands. And then take the hands down to either a block or the floor. Finding that center, keeping that awareness of the axis. Take the left hand down below the face. And then we'll twist over to the right. So keep that hand down, strong through the feet. Curl yourself open, look to the right with your sternum, reach the right arm up to the sky. Let's find our breath rhythm. Bringing the right hand down to replace the left, up to the left, twisting open. Meditate 2 more rotations of this with your breath. Wonderful. Okay, take the hands to the top of those thighs. As you press into the thighs, notice that action of the sits bones kind of opening there as we come into a flat back, keeping the hands on the top of the thighs, hinging up. And feel that length. Let's take those hands again, just noticing the tallness through the torso. Exhale, drop the hands, and we're going to heel toe into our not wider, but into goddess pose. So we're going to take the toes wide and the heels in, but we want to make sure that the knee and those quads are tracking towards the middle 2 toes. So if you're way too turned out and your knees coming inward, that's not what we want. We want to keep the toes inward if that means, aligning the knee. So perfect. Find that nice alignment and the length. Take the hands again to those toe points on the body. Inhale, exhale. Let's, as they say in ballet plie, take the knees towards the toes, bend down. This is our horse goddess pose. Beautiful. Let's take the arms out to a T and then up towards the sky. And now exhale, let's take the palms forward and the elbows, ease them into our cactus hands. Power pose here. So you've got all those power points of the fingers, all the energetic points, got the toes and all 4 corners of the feet. This is your power pose. Inhale, feel that pelvic floor strength lifting up. Exhale, and then come out of that deep bend. Arms down. Let's do it again. This time, just allow the hands to slide down the thighs as we do it. Inhale, go long. Exhale, knees bend, and keep those hands on the thighs. So cradle the thighs. So you've got your thumbs on the inside and the fingers on the outside. And just feel that sense of if you guide the skin of the thighs towards the knees. So so you've got that nice opening in the hips there. And now we're going to hinge at the hips and just lean this forward and keep that weight of the hands to support you. So keep the knees aligned. And we're going to take here in this leaning forward, we're going to take the left shoulder towards the right knee, just ever so slightly, turning the sternum towards the right. So this is a gentle twist using the base of goddess pose. Inhale through center, take the right shoulder towards the left knee and the sternum over to the right. Allow the skull to follow the line, no rushing. Come through center, we'll take the left shoulder to the right knee, sternum to the right. Keeping the knees nice and strong, keeping the legs strong. Other side. Exhale it. Come in through center. Take the hands to the top of the thighs and hinge upward, and then straighten the legs. Oof, nice. Nice toning through those support, those quads. Let's take the right toes out to the side and angle the back foot to about 30 degrees, front heel, back arch. Speaking of arch, we'll take our archer pose. So keep those hips as forward as possible. You don't want to crank them, force them forward. You just want that energy to be in that plane, as if you had a window in front of the body and it was keeping you in line. Inhale, the arms out to that wingspan. Exhale, bend the right knee, guide that back foot back so you can come towards that right ankle with your front leg. Great. Use the energy between the feet to come into your center and the lift of that pelvic floor energy up to keep the weight off of the hips. Look over the right fingertips. And now we'll take our archer. So bend the left elbow, sweep the left hand towards the heart, slide it across the chest, along the right arm, keeping that base strong. Just reach towards the left, reach the left fingertips towards the right. And then pull back as if you were pulling on a bow and arrow. So the archer. And then bend the left elbow. And just spend a moment here, breath. That strength. And then exhale, release behind you. So this is a sense of energetic release through the left fingertips out behind you. Finding that strong base again. Let's do it again. This time we can follow the left hand forward with the gaze and the head. Pull back again, keeping the gaze forward, archer, and then gaze back as your left hand just releases. Follow the breath again. Reaching forward, really using the third eye as that knowing wisdom, looking forward, and then release. Watch what you don't need, leave your fingertips. And then bring the gaze forward, arms out to a T, straighten that right leg, switch to the other side. Use that path across the body as a nice meditation. Toes to the side, angle that back foot. Find those hip points forward and sweep the arms out nice and long. Exhale, the left knee bending. Just the back foot. Again, you don't have to force your front leg into that right ankle, but it does help tone the quads when you get deeper and drop into that left hip. Great. Bring the feet together, you magnetize, that helps you feel strong. And then we'll bend the right arm. Arm. Slide the hand across the chest and then towards the left arm. Pull back into bow. And then magic release. Watch the right hand release behind you. Come back across the body. Meditation with the breath. Release. One more time. Great, release. Look forward, arms into the T, straighten out the left leg, bring the toes into parallel. Oh, beautiful. And we'll just breathe here. Inhale the arms out. So we really expand in that diagonal plane. Exhale, let's bring the palms together above the head. Trace that line down the center. Inhale again. Look up. Exhale, trace the line. Bring in that fresh air. Hug it into the body. Inhale, look up. And then we'll take that prayer position again. And then as you come to the center of body, heel toe yourself back. Try to hinge at the hips as you do this, bringing prayer position back to the heart and into our mountain pose with the prayer position in front of the heart. So prayer mountain pose with our nice strong feet, that full surface feet, lifting the quads, glutes engaged, not too squeezy, but just about 25%. Solid into the center. So we're going to do eagle legs along with eagle arms, celebrating that flying eagle energy today. I'll fix my prop here. Okay, come on into the center. And let's get the legs started before the arms. So mountain, take the weight into the left leg. Keep that tower strong. Let's no dropping into at either hip. Remember the breathing, either side, equal energy. Let's bring that into both sides of the body as well. Strong through the left leg, trace a line in front of you with the left toes, kickstand the right toes and squeeze in to the center. You want to squeeze the thighs together. You don't want to compromise your knees. You just want to energetically squeeze in and press the shins together. Beautiful. So right over left. And then eventually we'll sit back, but right now just keep that energy in. Sweep the arms out into our wingspan, right arm under left. We've done this before today, so you know this one. Okay, keeping that nice alignment with the elbows in front of the shoulders. We're going to sit back in an imaginary chair, just ever so slowly hinging at the hips, the same way we do with chair pose, toning through the navel. I'll do this to the side so you can see it. So I'm kickstanding and just hinging, keeping my spine nice and long. And my thumbs are pointing towards the third eye. So we're making that full circle connection here. Again, that subtle movement of your breath and tapping into the pose. You can lift your right foot off the floor if that's comfortable, or just stay on both feet. It's fine. Toning here. And then we'll find the floor again. Inhale, the arms sweep out and unwind. Take it to the other side, strong left side. Take the weight onto that side. Trace the line in front of the foot, the left kickstand. First, find the vertical center, the tall tree energy right into the center. Inhale the arms up. Exhale into eagle arms. And then we're going to sit into that chair. So the knees bend. Take it to the side so you can see. Here we go. And keeping my gaze nice and steady. Thumbs toward third eye. And your strength here, your quads, glutes. Lift the leg if you want on the left side. Remember, we were taking that path of the breath with the eagle arms, sitting. Try it here. Shoulders away from ears. You can wobble, it's fine. Just see if you can glue yourself to that center as well. And then slide your foot down, unwind the arms. Woo! Sweep it, twist out into this Tai Chi style. Twist just to loosen everything up. Great. And then come down to the mat. Actually, come to the top of the mat. And into mountain. Inhale the arms up, really reach up towards the sky through the fingertips. Exhale, we're going to swan dive, wingspan out, down towards the mat, following the heart. Remember, we had that tall feeling with the other forward bend. We'll do that here. If you want to bend the knees, it's okay. Bring your hands down to the mat, hang the head down, and then walk back to down dog. Just take a moment here, stretching out into down dog, bringing those hips behind you in that diagonal. Exhaling. Inhale, reach longer. Exhale, find whatever your base is here, the hands and the feet. Great. And then take the knees down, nice and guiding them down. And then we'll find a recline here. And find your way to a reclined position. We'll do that. Take the feet to the floor, just bend the knees. And then we're going to open up into Baddha Konasana. So take the feet together, a cobbler's pose. Take the feet together. You can even place a block under your feet if you feel like you don't want them to go all the way to the floor. But the knees butterfly out to the sides. And if this is uncomfortable for you at all, you can take the feet further away from the body. You don't want to force them towards the body. But let's take the hands to the top of the thighs like we were earlier when we were forward, wide forward bend. But let's just take a gentle pressure down towards the heels with your hands at the top of those thighs. So when you press down, just gently towards and hold the top of the thighs and press towards the feet. Just feel that your lower back and that your spine gets a little more space. We don't want to go into like make major traction or anything. We just want to encourage and suggest a little more space for those vertebrae. Use your breath here. The breath has suggested so many new ways for your body today. Just continue to listen in. And press down gently again, seeing if you can find some length there. You can even massage the top of the thighs, opening up the hips. Maybe on the next exhale, the knees drop out a little bit more, and you can really release your hips. If not, that's fine too. Baddha Konasana. Great. Take your hands to the thighs and towards the knees and just help your knees together. So they're supported. If you had the block there, just move it over to the side. And we're going to take that strap, our friendly strap, and have a nice long twist here with the support of our prop. Take that strap around the ball of the right foot and reach that up towards the sky, long leg. I like to take this at a diagonal. My right leg has been doing kind of piriformis tightness issues lately. And when I take it to flexion, it does have some pain. So just, again, if that's might be your issue, you can take it to a diagonal. And just feel that length through the right heel, drop into the right hip. So gravity and dropping in there. And then we're going to support our twist here with the strap. So you've got the left foot on the floor, just bridge up and we'll take ourselves over onto our left side, guiding that right foot down to the floor. Then the two straps come into the left hand. And then we're on our side here. So if there was a block behind my sacrum, it would still be standing up as I do this twist. I'm not going to knock it over. So that's a perpendicular there. Take the right hand to the heart, elbow to the sky, and we're going to open up towards the sky. Look up at the sky. And your sternum is going to look up at the sky with you. Right hand, right arm comes down out into a T, cactus, or maybe see if you can just reach down, see if you can find those left toes, bending the left knee. But if not, again, we don't want to over effort. The whole point of yoga is to be where you are and not to strive. I mean, if you strive, it's listening to the body and tuning in, striving to hear the body, not to force it. Let's press the left elbow into the mat a little more. Maybe you can twist more if that works for you. Hold on to that strap. Feel the sense of warmth to the back body, kind of melting it towards our lovely earth. Maybe gaze over to the right. And then release the foot if you have it. Sweep your right arm back to meet the left. Guide your leg back up to the sky. Bend the knee and switch over to the left side. Again, don't overflex yourself into the hamstring stretch as you take the ball, the foot, left foot into the strap and rise up. You can keep the right knee bent, that's fine. Spread the toes, drop into the left hip, the femur bone just tucking into that left hip socket. Feeling the buzz along the back of the leg here, no doubt. And then we're going to bridge up, pressing into the right foot over to the right side. Hold on to the strap with your right hand. Left hand to the heart. And guiding that sternum up, looking up towards the sky. Left arm comes down to the T or cactus. Pressing through your right elbow, maybe lifting up a little higher through the sternum and settling down with an exhale. If you find that those back toes into a quad stretch, I guess I didn't say quad stretch on the other side, but you would be holding the back toes and bending the right knee so that you're in a quad stretch. But again, this is just a little bit of extra icing on the cake or something. You don't have to do it. Maybe gaze over the left shoulder. On your next inhale, you can just release and allow that path of breath to bring your left arm over to meet the right. Guide the leg back up and back onto the reclined position, sacrum down, release the strap, free the legs, one leg straighten than the other. Right arm, left arm, draping on the mat, squeezing the shoulder blades together, opening those collarbones again. Feel that length we've created in the spine. Inhale, sigh it out, exhale. Close the eyes. Come back to that intention or attention that you had at the beginning of class to set your course. Come back to that. Come back to your breath. Allow the exhales to be a cascade of warm energy from head down to over past the neck of the shoulders, past the torso, down the legs and the arms, sweeping down the body, relaxing it even more. Inhale. Find that cascade of exhale. Again. Each inhale, an opportunity to reset. Each exhale, an opportunity to release. Another luxurious breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees and your elbows. Roll onto your right side. Ease yourself up with your hands to a seated position to close the practice, coming full circle. Hands at the heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. Namaste.